What's going on, everybody? Happy whatever today is, Tuesday. I don't even know what day it is anymore. We got a lot to talk about here, folks. There's lots to talk about. Lots and lots and lots to talk about, especially, and I have to give Teapot here from Cards HQ a lot of credit for what he did with this latest video he posted. We'll get into this in a little bit. Even Spitballing Cards talked about it today, it looks like. I'll watch this. I'll watch that later. Oh, Robert Carradine died. I didn't know that. Revenge of the Nerds dude died. A lot of people been kicking the bucket lately. I hate to be so morbid. Excuse me. Bear with me here, folks. I know this is, the afternoon, so Neo Cards and Comics even is talking about it. Everybody's talking about it. What Teapot did. And I got a lot to say about this subject. I should really make myself some breakfast. Let me just do one thing here, like always, everybody, and be right back. Okay, that's weird. Give me 1 second here, folks. I'll be right back. Let me just send this someplace. All right, that's okay. I don't have to really worry about that. Let me get myself a little bit better organized. Everybody in the hobby's talking about what Teapot did. And Teapot now, in my eyes, has redeemed himself. First off, if you're new to the channel, ladies and gentlemen, I'd really appreciate it if you would hit that thumbs up button. Consider subscribing to the channel and hit the bell to receive notifications. Also, check out my eBay store, The Carolina Collector. The link is in the description box below. And it's also in the description box of every video, short and live stream that I do here on YouTube. But we're going to talk about this because I've been experiencing some bullshit over at my eBay store, and it's only accelerated in the past 2 or 3 weeks that I've noticed the behavior of certain people. It's become much more aggressive. And of course, we're gonna get back into this card again because I am gonna pull this listing down. I might as well just keep it. There's no point in me trying to sell this anymore. But I'll give this another minute or two. Cheers, everybody. The standard sugar-free Red Bull, like always. But we'll get into this conversation in a little bit. Again, a lot of credit where credit is due to Teapot of Cards HQ for exposing what a lot of us already knew, that card grading is extremely subjective. There's a lot of human error, a lot of mistakes. And he actually sent off one of these to get graded. And the results that he got from this card, it's unbelievable. And he did it with a Mewtwo Pokemon card. I don't collect Pokemon, but he did it with a Mewtwo Pokemon card. And it's quite disturbing. It really is disturbing. the results that he found. And again, a lot of credit, because I've been a critic of his and Jeff Wilson for a long time. But what Teapot did exposed the dark side of this hobby for what it is. It's not just the inconsistent nature of grading and these grading companies, but the greed that has now taken place, because there are collectors that will submit, like this Ken Griffey Jr. There are people that will submit this to PSA 3, 4, 5, 6 times and pay and pay and pay and pay and pay until they land a 10. Until somebody out there grades a card a 10. And how much money will PSA make off of the constant re-slabbing? Guy he wants a Ken Griffey Jr. PSA 10. Comes back a 9. Breaks the slab, cracks the slab, resubmits it. Comes back a 9, resubmits it, cracks it open. Another 30, 40, 50 bucks to do so. Comes back an 8, cracks a slab, sends it back. And guys do this. They do this just to land the 10. A lot of it, and I'm sorry to say, has to do with the greed that has now infiltrated this hobby. And I've only been back into this hobby for a very short time, and the things that I'm seeing, especially over at my eBay store now, concerning this card in particular, the greed's out of control. It's completely out of control. And some of the messages that I've got on eBay from some of these fucking Midwestern baseball hat wearing assholes out there, it's you can tell they're in it only for the money. They're not in it for the enjoyment. They're not in it for the pleasure. They're not there as a hardworking person that says, I broke my ass all day. I've been running around at work. I've had the boss barking behind my neck, breathing down my neck all day. And all you want to do is just go home and pick up something like this and just look at it and hold it in your hand. Take a deep breath, relax, like that sort of thing. You know what I mean, folks? You just want to take a deep breath and go, and just sit back and deflate. But you can't do that anymore. Not with the way the hobby is going today. And I'm seeing that at my eBay store. Recently I sold a Daniel Jones New York Giants Vapor Elite retro jersey that was based on their 2 Super Bowl jerseys back in the 80s. I'm sorry, back in the 90s. My apologies. And I had one asshole message me because I was selling mine. Now, normally and typically they go for almost $400 a piece. Right? I sold this particular jersey, I sold it for $72 because Daniel Jones was an awful quarterback for the Giants. He may have done well for the Colts, but he did awful for the Giants, right? So I sold it after paying $400 for this thing, and anybody can go on Fanatics. And this is where I fucking hate the world, when people refuse to accept the fucking reality and facts that are in their face. Anybody can go to Fanatics right now and see that a lot of these Vapor Fuse jerseys and Vapor Elite jerseys, the high-end jerseys, do go for $400. I'm rounding it off. It could be $384, $385. Let's not get into semantics here. They are what they are, and they cost what they cost. Who is this? I have no idea what that is. Anyway, these things cost what they cost, and I resold or put that jersey up for sale at the price I was asking for. And I had some fucking brain-headed asshole, real brainlet out there trying to tell me what I should and should not sell that jersey for. Fuck you. Once this item is in, this is my item until I decide to sell it and part ways with it. Until then, I dictate the course of what I sell my stuff for. It's my property, my stuff, mine, me, mine. I control the fucking destiny of my stuff. I ended up selling the jersey anyway. A lot less for what I was asking for, but thank God a New York Giants fan actually bought the jersey in my former home of New York. The reason why this person wanted it for so cheap, so that they can flip it. When you click on the account, you see jerseys for $200 to $300 to $400. And this person is telling me, no way, it's $400. Yes, it is, asshole. Facts are facts, and they didn't like it. And then they started fucking harassing me on eBay. I reported them twice to eBay. And now I don't see those comments anymore in my DMs. So I guess eBay must have did something. I don't know, and I don't care. I did eventually sell the jersey for a little bit less than what I was asking for. I sold it for 1/4 of the value that I bought it for, which I think came out to like $72 or $75. I forget. Something like that. But it's my stuff, my things, my personal things. If I want to sell it for those prices, I can, and I will. Period. End of discussion. And then I saw what Teapot did yesterday. I watched his video about him sending a Ken Griffey Jr. to all of the grading companies. And he did this with a Mewtwo. And the results were everywhere. That it was tampered with, that it was too big. It came back a 9. It came back authentic. It was this, it was that. So how trustworthy are these grades? The simple fact of the matter is the fucking greed that exists in this hobby. I got people right now trying to dictate what I should be selling this for. And I say, fuck you. You know why? This is my card. I have comped it at the prices that I see currently, not just here on eBay, but through Card Ladder. You're gone. Anyway, back to this. So, this is my card. And if I want to sell it at the price that I choose to sell it at, that's what I'm going to do. Fuck these sports card people. My customers so far have been amazing. But it's only around the past 2 or 3 weeks I've seen an increase in the aggressive nature of some of these so-called sports card collectors that are trying to get things for cheap. And I have another example of this somewhere buried in here. I pulled it out. I should have kept it on my desk for the sake of conversation. By the way, if you did have orders with me, they did go out today, except for the one customer that bought those Heston Kjerstad Mojos off of me. I'm still waiting for a response. If you recall last night, if any of you watched that live stream, I only had 2 out of the 3 Heston Kjerstads, but after going through my PC and my backlog, I had some alternate Heston Kjerstad cards. So I sent the customer a message. If you want a refund, I can offer you a refund, or I can replace the card free of charge. So these are the cards that I offered to the customer to choose one. They're pretty, with the exception of the yellow, they're pretty much the same value. So I did send that offer today, as a matter of fact. So that's in the works. And the card is still sitting, the two Heston Kjerstads are still sitting right there. But the rest of the orders that I had are now out the door. I did give them to the postman who pulled up at the mailboxes there. But it's reached a point now where the greed is out of control. The greed is out of control. The PSA raised their prices again to slow down the influx of cards. Hire more people, dumbasses. The solution is not to raise prices on people. The solution is to fucking hire more workers, dummy. Because of the obsessive greed of, I have to grade it, I have to grade it, I have to grade it. That's fine. Everybody's entitled to do what they want with their sports cards. But the aggressive messages that I've been getting over at my eBay account recently of people trying to dictate the course of how I should sell my cards and what they should be priced at, these are my cards at the end of the day, and I will sell them for whatever I feel like selling them for. Again, I refer to this asshole who was trying to tell me what I should and shouldn't sell that Daniel Jones jersey. Eventually, I sold it for a little bit less than what I was asking for, and I priced it accordingly. But this person just could not accept that at the end of the day, things cost what they cost. Period. If you don't like it, don't buy things off of me. It's that simple. Go find somebody else to scam. You know, I've had customers buy cards off of me. I appreciate when people tell me, "Hey, listen, I hope you don't mind. I'm going to flip this card." You know, is there any particular? Here it is. Is there any particular reason why you're selling it? And then, you know, I'll have a civilized conversation. You do have to have decorum when it comes to this sort of thing. But there are the fucking hobby is getting worse and worse and worse. If you go look at my playlists, look at sneaker culture. Sneaker culture has officially died because of the greed, because of people flipping shoes like this, 3, 4, 5x. As soon as a card is pulled out of a pack, immediately it's being sold on eBay because they're not collectors. They're fucking greedy scumbags. Greedy scumbags that only want to drain your wallet. It's bullshit. I don't have to do this. I do this because it keeps me busy. It keeps me sane. It keeps me occupied. I don't have to sit here and do this. I do it because it keeps me busy throughout my day. Otherwise, I'd be pointing a remote control at my television set, flipping through channels, gaining weight, becoming unhealthy, and being depressed. You know, I already have enough stuff going on off camera as it is already. Like what happened yesterday when I talked about this on camera with this pot-smoking little shit that lives in the apartment behind me who came knocking on my door to borrow my vacuum cleaner and returned it fucking broken and shattered. That an NYPD friend of mine gave me that fucking vacuum many years ago, almost 10-year-old vacuum that I've repaired again and again and fixed and was in perfect working order. Then the fucking she broke the fucking drive belt. Here are the 2 belts that I bought yesterday. It was a failure. I tried to repair that fucking thing. The plastic was shattered. There were fucking cigar wrappers. In other words, they're smoking fucking dope up in that apartment. You should have smelt what that vacuum cleaner smelled like. I got so fucking angry, I broke it to bits and threw it right in the dumpster. There was no fixing it. Now I have to shell out money for a new vacuum. Because people don't fucking care. They don't fucking care. This is what drives people to do the fucking crazy shit that they do. Because you get fed up with a fucking world and a society of people that don't give a fuck about anything or anybody else. And I don't mean in a leftist kind of way. I mean taking fucking responsibility, acting civilized, behaving civilized. This is 2026. We're supposed to be a little bit better than our fucking ancestors. We're at a point where technology, we can generate anything that we can think of through AI. And this is the best we got. I think the more technology gets bigger, the dumber we get. Not to sound like the Unabomber here, but I'm sorry to say it, there were a lot of things that the Unabomber said in his manifesto that makes sense to me. The more we use technology, the more we deny our brain the ability to process things. Critical thinking goes off the wayside. That this is now a useless tool because nobody knows how to fucking think and write out a math problem. Where do you think Common Core comes from? To try to make everybody feel good. I appreciate thinkers. I appreciate problem solvers. Not dumbasses that stick a cheat sheet on the bottom of their shoe like kids used to do in school back in the day. The fucking people are just out of control these days, and the sports card hobby is no different. This is another card I was talking about right here. It's not just this one, it's this one and several other cards. I raised the price on this. Follow the logic here. See, this is where I will pat myself on the back. This is where I will be arrogant because I use logic. Many of you are customers of mine. Pardon me. And I do try to keep the prices as low as I can. I take the time to comp the cards. Now eBay, at least on my end, as a top-rated seller, I have access to the scanning tool through the app. And they use Card Ladder to scan, cards if you want to comp cards. But I also go onto several websites online on Google to comp a lot of my cards. If I question the prices that are on Card Ladder, because sometimes it doesn't always get it right. I had this card, I think, up for sale. I think it was like $12.99 or something like that, and then I lowered it to like $8.99. right? And then when I comp this card, this is a Jack Leiter Purple Mojo refractor out of 75. There are currently several green versions of this for 12 to 15 bucks. So if you understand the math, an out of 99 is bigger, or a bigger population of cards, than the out of 75. Are we following the logic? In other words, there are less of these as a numbered parallel. So I priced it accordingly and raised the price to $18.99. And immediately I got a message. Oh, I want it for $6. Fuck you. Fuck you. You're not getting it for $6. Prices do fluctuate. Player cards, values appreciate. Sometimes they depreciate. And if you don't like it, that's just tough. Tough. And the same thing's happening with this. The lowball offers that I've got for this card are the most insulting shit I've ever seen. And they're getting more and more aggressive, especially on eBay, that people think they're going to get things for cheap. People think they're going to get this card for what it is raw, and that's not going to happen. All because it's an SGC holder, and nobody likes SGC. You know how many of these are in SGC holders and people have bought them? And people are trying to get me to sell that for $400. That's not happening. I understand that there are a lot more Barry Bonds cards out there. Obviously, I pay attention. But don't try to fucking lowball me to an insulting point and then message me with these messages. Okay, I'm ready to pay you $400 now. Fuck you. It's my card, and I set the prices based on what I see in the market. And I hate to talk like a businessman, but facts are facts. So long as these cards are in my possession and in my home, before anybody pays me their hard-earned money for this stuff, the card is mine. I am the boss. I am the king. I am the god of my fucking little kingdom, of my little nirvana I've made. And people don't like that, and that's just tough shit. And what Teapot did with that Ken Griffey Jr., good for him. He exposed the hobby for what it is. The whole thing is a flim-flam. It's a sham when it comes to certain people. It's not everybody. But there's a handful of these yokels that are out there that are just, they're wearing trench coats in a back alley, wheeling and dealing. They want things for suit. You know what the hobby has become, in a way? A fucking pawn shop. Have you ever dealt with pawn shops before? The pawn shops want to buy everything for the cheapest, lowest fucking value, and they always use the excuse, well, I have to list it, I have to put it on eBay, it takes time to do research how to price it, you know, it may be up there, it may not sell. There's an excuse and an excuse. Yeah. You just want your fucking money. You want the easy money that you don't have to fucking do physical labor for. And they're all knuckle draggers. I'm sure pawn shop people, pawn shop workers, they earn their keep. I don't doubt it. But at the end of the day, it's fucking easy work, isn't it? And they all want something for nothing so that they can resell it 3, 4, 5 times what the damn thing is worth. Whether it's jewelry or electronics. If I want to list this at $18 plus shipping, that's my prerogative based on what I see. And my customers, I still offer 10% discounts if I get enough interest in that card. And all of you know that, who are customers of mine. But this bullshit is getting worse and worse and worse and worse. With the greed. Theft of one-of-ones through box breakers. People trying to get something for nothing. Or way less than what it's valued for. This is the most recent example of that right here. When this person complained on eBay that I raised the price on this Jack Leiter card, I have every right. First off, it's my card. Second off, the out of 99 greens of this card are going anywhere between $12 to $15 plus shipping. I have every right to raise the price on this card because it is an out of 75. 75, 99. Less of this card means that there's less supply of this card out there, which means the price goes up. That's fucking economics for you, dumbasses. Doesn't anybody use fucking logic anymore? It's disgusting, folks, and you all know I'm right. It's become a fucking pawn shop in reverse. I sell a card for a certain price and people are going to dictate what they're willing to fucking pay. Bullshit. This is my card, and if I want to sell it for a certain price, I will. And if you don't like it, don't buy it. It's that simple. You can tell I'm getting stressed out because my fucking ears are popping. Do me a favor, folks, if you're shameless e-beg here, quick, if you're new to the channel, don't forget to subscribe. Hit that thumbs up button. Hit the bell to receive notifications and check out my eBay store. The link is in the description box of this live stream and every video and live that I do here on YouTube. But definitely hit that thumbs up, folks. I really appreciate it. But it's out of control. People in general are out of fucking control. Once you wave money around like this, the vultures come out of the fucking woodwork. I'm going to say this, whether I'm being facetious or this is what I really believe. People are de-evolving, man. I think humans are fucking de-evolving into their primate monkey-like lizard brain states. And I refuse to fucking compromise for anybody. All my life, I've always stood my fucking ground when it came to certain things. And the shit that's been thrown at me over the years, I'm still here. And yet more shit keeps coming across my plate. Women cheating on me, potheads. They want to legalize marijuana unless you have Asperger's or ADHD or whatever the fuck they call it. Or you have severe emotional problems and you need medical marijuana, fine. But they want to legalize all this shit. You're going to end up with a fucking zombie like the one that lives above me over here that borrowed my fucking vacuum cleaner, couldn't give a fuck about that thing and broke it on me for no fucking reason. Because I chose to believe in fucking people, like always. People are just fucking awful these days. They really are. But again, at the end of the day, if I want to sell a thing like this for the prices that I see and compare them to other cards, again, 99 is this big, 75 is this big, means that they're less. This is a smaller number. Dumbasses, I have every right to raise the price on this card if I so choose. Period. End of story. But the bitching, moaning, whining, and complaining that I've seen over at my eBay store lately, it leaves a lot to be fucking desired. If I want to sell this card for the price that I want to sell it for, that's my prerogative. And I guarantee by the end of today, by the end of tonight sometime, this card will be taken down and put back into my PC again. It's not worth it. That you're going to tell me how much I'm going to sell my cards for? Fuck you. Raw, these are going for maybe $700. But $400? The fuck out of here. Because they want to take it and flip it to make money off of me. And that's happened in the past, and I've allowed it to go on because I know that after a while, certain cards that I've sold in the past, values do depreciate. And there are cards that I've got my bucket list cards. Even if I didn't have that Barry Bonds auto, I've got my five slabs that I want for my PC. I'm not a big-time sports card collector. I collect a little bit of everything. Jerseys, Transformers toys, sneakers. You folks helped me to buy these, by the way, and I appreciate that. And I always show you appreciation, folks. I got some, besides this little minority of fucking knuckle-dragging Neanderthals, I appreciate that you folks buy my cards off me. You helped me to buy these, folks. You helped me to get through a hard time during the holidays. When I was forced to fucking celebrate Christmas by myself because of what that woman did to me. And what that knife-wielding maniac did here on the property and everything else I had to deal with. The death of my dad, the death of my buddy. And for a while, things were going good there until this girl fucking cheats on me with no answers, no explanation. What do we got here? I bet you this person's watching. Let's see. How much you want to bet? Oh, that's something that I'm personally watching on eBay. I'm saving up some bucks because I want to get a Jackson Dart New York Giants jersey. The Vapor, I think they have the Vapor Fuse jerseys of his for like 300 and change. And I think I have Fanatics points I can still use. So that's the captain's C patch, which he might be wearing this year. I think it's his second. Yeah, it's his second year with the Giants. So he'll probably have a C patch on his jersey this year. We'll see. But I won't apply it until if they win the Super Bowl. Then I would patch it all out. But anyway, the greed is out of control, folks. It's just way out of control. Pac-Man proved that. You know, well, nobody's buying my cards. You know, this and that and everything else. And Sports Card Radio rightfully call these guys out. And then Teapot, to his credit, committed himself to that experiment with one of these. And the results were everywhere. Everywhere. Authentic nines, miscut, evidence of trimming. Good for you, Teapot. Good for you. Good for you, folks. But what I've been seeing lately, the uptick of the aggressive language and the aggressive behavior of certain people that are trying to get something for nothing. I know the economy's fucked. A lot of here, even these, I'm paying more for. I've said it before. A case of these at Walmart, a 12 case, used to be like $18. They've gone up to $22. You know why? Not because of the drink, because of the aluminum. Doesn't anybody understand the fucking economy? Doesn't anybody pay attention to these things? I don't give a fuck about the promo. What do we got here now? Another one. Let's see. New offer. That's for another captain's patch. New offer from seller. Be the first to accept and get a $14.90. Okay. Forgive me here, folks. I got a little off track there. There's just something caught my attention outside. Anyway, it's the cost of aluminum. Doesn't anybody pay attention to the economy anymore? Don't we pay attention to legitimate issues? Fuck the pronoun assholes and, you know, the people that are supporting illegal immigration that are out there in the fucking streets wasting everybody's time. Doesn't anybody care about real issues like paying your rent? Like the fucking numbnut that broke my vacuum cleaner yesterday because she's a fucking pot smoking lumberjack, who pronoun freak? Who doesn't give a shit about anything because it's not theirs. The greed and the lack of fucking self-control with people leaves so much to be fucking desired. And somebody like me that had to grind to get to where I'm at, that had to go through all this shit. And I got people trying to tell me what I should and shouldn't do with my shit. This is what the left, a lot of leftists promote this fucking idea. You'll have nothing and be happy. Fuck you. I'll have all the stuff I want. If I want 80 pairs of sneakers, I'll buy them. No one has the fucking right to tell me what I can and cannot do with my things. And for the greed, this one card right here has revealed the fucking greed that now exists in this hobby. To get a $400 low ball when there are raw cards out there of this particular card, and I believe there are 300. I think the print run of the base card of this autograph is at 300 and change, somewhere around there. There's a couple of them that are out there that are selling for over $1,000. It's in an SGC slab. What it was, SGC, the fucking leper colony of sports card collecting now? Is this the herpes and AIDS of sports card collecting now because it's in an SGC slab? What about all the vintage cards that are in SGC slabs? Nobody has a problem paying premium for those. But God forbid, look out for modern and ultra modern. You fucking break. The nerve of some of these people. And it's only going to get worse. This is why sneaker culture died. In a Transformers collecting space, I'll pull them off my desk right now. I've said this before. This is one of my most favorite Optimus Primes that I have in my collection currently. Studio Series Prime. I know they just released a battle damage one. I have no interest in it. I think it's kind of morbid, in my opinion, to have a battle damage prime. But there are collectors that want that kind of stuff because they do dioramas and stop motion filming and all that kind of stuff, and they can recreate those scenes from the Transformers movie or any scene if they wanted to. Mine is upgraded. I got the Aki or Achi Studios head and the gap fillers and all that good stuff. But there are knockoffs of this thing, and I'm not promoting knockoffs, but Transformers fans, they don't deal with that kind of shit. You might hear them bitching and complaining, and sometimes I do also, and I have an example of that right here, the Studio Series Devastation Prime. This thing was a mess. It took 3 upgrade kits to get this thing to look like the way it does now. And it didn't have to be like that. But Transformers fans at least know better that, you know what, if I can't get this thing, somebody's going to make a knockoff. Somebody's going to make a bootleg, just like with sneakers. Now, I'm not promoting the purchase, sale, or transportation of knockoffs and bootlegs, but after a while, the consumer gets fucking tired of this stuff. And on the opposite end, if I'm going to sell a thing for a certain price, it's for a reason. I'm not here to make thousands and thousands of dollars. I live in a 1-bedroom apartment. My car's a piece of shit. You know what I mean? I'm not here to flaunt myself out in the streets like a lot of assholes do. You know, these crotch-grabbing wannabe hip-hop thugs with a fake limp like that got testicular cancer and all that kind of shit, that they think they're going to get laid if they walk like that. Bullshit. It's pretentious nonsense. Human nature is not that hard to figure out, folks. The fucking greed that exists in this hobby, and after what Teapot revealed about grading, people are still going to grade. They're still going to send things. That's why I'm afraid to send my father's vintage in to any of these companies, in particular PSA. There's no way my father's vintage cards that I have after he died, there's no way I would send them to PSA. I wonder if I did what Teapot did, and I cracked this PSA 10 King Griffey Jr. out of this holder and send it to him. Bet you it'll come back a 9 or an 8. I'm at the verge of selling these at this point. These are slabs that I really, really wanted, that I got, that I'm happy I have. These could be the only, well, I mean, after today, if that Barry Bonds doesn't sell, I'm pulling this listing from my eBay store, period. And if I only have these 6 slabs in my personal collection, I'm completely happy. Foaming at the mouth here. Excuse me. This greed is out of control. Completely out of control. And to have these fuckers literally have the audacity to tell me what I should and shouldn't be selling my cards for, it's my stuff. And I pay attention to the prices that are out there. Given certain facts, he's never going to get in Barry Bonds will never get into the Hall of Fame because of the whole doping thing that happened way back when. Yes, he had a great bat prior to that, but then once the doping got involved, what do you think happened? He's not going to get into the Hall of Fame, but there are fans of Barry Bonds. Oh, yikes. It's in an SGC slab. Ew, icky poo. Teapot proved that the whole grading thing is bullshit. The most graded card in sports card history, I believe, is this one right here. And there's still under 5,000 of these, which begs the question. There are now over 5,000 of these, and they're going for $3,500 each currently on average. How is that possible? Invest, invest, invest. PSA 10. Now, if I were to sell this for $3,500, some fucking yokel out there is going to say, oh, here's my $2,000. I will list them and sell them at any price that I so damn please. The nerve of certain people. The nerve. And again, I comped this card properly recently. I went back and recomped a whole bunch of cards. Some prices came down, some prices went up. But if I see that an out of 99 of this card is going for $12 to $15, I have to assume that this card is going for at least $18 to $20, maybe even more, because it's an out of 75. Logic. Doesn't anybody have the thing in my brain that I still grasp onto called critical thinking and logic? Very good, Teapot. Very good. I've been a critic of Teapot and Jeff Wilson for a while. But what he did with that Griffey Jr. and that Mewtwo recently, and you saw, if you go watch that video now, I think it's on the Cards HQ channel or whatever it is, miscut, evidence of trimming, what was it, a BGS 9 or something like that? And what the differences between all the companies, it was insane to watch. And now every sports card content creator is talking about it because it exposes the truth about this shit. Is this or is this not legitimate? And then it comes down to the idiotic fucking thought processes of some of these people that are trying to get over. It's in an SGC slab. Ew, icky. They're all fucked up across the board. Tag, BGS, SGC, PSA, they are all a mess. All of them. And again, I offer this question to all of you. If PSA owns SGC and they own Beckett, technically this is a PSA slab. Don't tell me otherwise. Fucking logic, folks. Think about it. If Nike buys out Reebok, technically Reebok would still be a Nike brand. It's like baseball jerseys. You know how much Nike paid just to have the Nike swoosh on baseball jerseys over the last few years? They paid millions to have that Nike swoosh on there. But technically, they're not Nike jerseys. They really are not. They're not. Nike paid Fanatics to have that swoosh on there and have it branded as Nike jerseys. That's a fact. That's an absolute fact. The fucking greed is just out of control, man. It's way out of control. And I appreciate honest, a lot of my customers who've been honest, when they tell me, hey, listen, that card that I bought off you, I'm going to have it graded. Do you mind? No, I don't mind at all. Have at it, because my tolerance and patience for any of this stuff really is starting to go out the wayside now. Where to me, I don't see the value of grading anymore. Opossum Bud, who's in the Pokemon space, the TCG and One Touch space, he's been cracking open all of his PSA slabs from his Pokemon collection. Good for him. In protest to this bullshit. A lot of other people are doing the same thing, cracking their slabs because it's not fucking worth it anymore. And if these grades are not genuine, even this PSA 10 Ken Griffey Jr., which can go anywhere between $4,000 to $5,000 at any given time, who's to say that this is a true PSA 10 in here? And how old is this particular holder? If I were to check the cert number. If this is supposed to be absolute perfection, then explain the hologram on the back. It's not perfectly centered. If people are looking for absolute perfection, that's one of those missing details nobody looks at. I do. That hologram is all over the place. But yet it's still a PSA 10. Think about it. As long as it's in this holder, it's a PSA 10. And nobody's going to crack a PSA 10. Unless you're crazy enough, and I talked about this in a video a long time ago that I talked about, cracking open a PSA 10 of this and maybe sending it off to BGS. And if it lands a black label, the price will almost immediately double because there aren't that many black labels out there. Or even if you get a gold label, a BGS gold label, will increase the value on that card. But a black label, Try to imagine that. A Shohei Ohtani will easily be a $6,000 card just because of the label. This stuff is insane, folks. But these hyper-aggressive messages that I've been getting on over at my eBay store, I've never seen any, oh, I'm going to pay you $6. No, you're not. You're going to pay what I am selling the card for, unless I've offered you a 10% discount as a watcher, or if I see enough interest in the card through a certain number of watchers, and I'll send a 10% offer to those customers. If you don't like it, don't buy it. I have plenty of other customers that will buy this stuff. And I try to be fair. I think I have almost 3,000 sales at this point. If you don't like it, don't buy my stuff. It's that simple. Move along. You don't like the chant, like George Carlin, the comedian, who I am a disciple of, by the way. If you don't like what you see or hear on the TV, you know, you have two knobs. You have the off button, and the other button changes the station. You actually can change the fucking station, change the channel if you don't like what you see and hear. If other people are interested in seeing and hearing what's in front of them, that's their fucking prerogative to do so. After that, if you don't like it, you have the right to walk away, turn off the TV, go touch some grass. And I know I'm not the only one calling this shit out. It's sick. The hobby is sick. It's going to die. If it keeps going down this route, folks, I'm telling you now, it's going to end up being like sneaker culture is. The hype buying. Wander Franco. Look what happened with his cards. Who's this new quarterback for the New England Patriots? Everybody jumped on the fucking bandwagon. May or whatever his name is, or I can't remember what his name is. Everybody jumped on the bandwagon with that dude. And then when the Patriots lost the fucking Super Bowl, because all of you are suckers to buy fucking cards off of people that take advantage of your emotions. I waited a long time to acquire these slabs right here. I waited until it was the right time to pounce. And Shohei Ohtani, he's definitely destined for the Hall of Fame. There's no question about that. Aaron Judge, definitely destined for the Hall of Fame. Oh, it's an SGC 10. Who gives a shit? He's destined for the Hall of Fame. Don Mattingly, fan favorite. Couldn't care less if he gets into the Hall of Fame. Still pushing about $2,000 for this card. I didn't pay that. Paul Skeens, Cy Young Award winner, playing in the World Baseball Classic in the WBC. Definitely an animal. I had to have one of his cards, one of his high-profile cards. And, of course, the ultimate, junk wax card, the Ken Griffey. But who's to say that those are true PSA 10s now? Or that SGC 10. Ooh, the slab is too thick. Look at how thick it is. And look at how big it is. Oh, it's worth less when it isn't. Well, PSA owns SGC. Therefore, it is technically a PSA slab. Is it not, if you think about it logically, dumbasses? It's just too out of control. Stay tuned, folks. Let me make myself some lunch here. It's out of control. This hobby has lost its fucking mind. The hobby has completely lost its mind. This hobby is just way, way, way out of control. And until you folks figure it out, especially after what Teapot did, if I were all of you, I'd start second guessing a lot of this stuff. But then you got the fucking greedy assholes that are out there that would have been showing up over at my eBay store lately, trying to tell me what I should and should not do with my sports cards. And it's a real shame because I've had a pretty consistent customer base. And of course, I am grateful for that. But some of these people that are out there that are trying to get over just to fucking make a quick buck. Did you not graduate? What's the highest grade you got? What do you like? What do you like? Them guys from fucking Trailer Park Boys? You only made it to like fucking the 5th grade or 6th grade, so all you know how to do is count wooden blocks? You only know how to count up to 10? Can you tie your own shoelaces? That's the type of people that get into the sports card hobby. Convicted felons, alcoholics, worthless motherfuckers. Most of them anyway, in my opinion. That all you can do is sell fucking baseball cards. Do like what I did. Get a good union job. And when you get hurt and injured or you try to do the right thing for your country like I did for the first 5 days after that wonderful event in 2001 took place in my former home in New York, then you can earn what I have. Just to be fucking taken advantage of by a world that doesn't give a shit anymore. It's ridiculous, man. It is getting worse and worse and worse and worse. It's just getting worse and worse. And it's sad. Very sad. I've had a very, that's why you say never chew with your mouth full, or never speak with your mouth full, excuse me. To tell me what I should and should not be selling my cards for. After all the homework and research I do to price these cards accordingly to what I see and still offer people discounts to be admonished by people that want something for nothing, that's not how the fucking world works. It's not how the world works. That is not how the world works. I have to pay rent. I have to buy my food. Nobody cooks my food for me. Every fucking woman that I've ever been with has been a dead-end loser, especially this most recent one that cheated on me on Valentine's Day. So I have to depend on numero uno. And I have to watch out for myself because I am a target for fucking people. People like me are a target. I wish my buddy Wolf was still alive living in that apartment. And I'd still have my friend's vacuum cleaner that was given to me all them years ago when I first moved here to Charlotte. And again, we have irresponsible, brainless, knucklehead fucking people out there that don't care. Especially if a thing doesn't belong to them. To have that fucking vacuum cleaner broke the way it was. And despite my best efforts, and here are the drive belts from my now landfill fucking vacuum cleaner. You think that pot-smoking little fucking whore, lesbian fucking lumberjack, butch dyke whore will pay for a new vacuum cleaner for me? Of course not. And I'm not apologizing for my words. People are what they are. You borrow something from somebody, you return it the way you got it. You treat things, people want to be treated with dignity and respect. Bullshit. You earn respect. It's your actions, not what you are, not what you think you are. Especially in a fucking nest here where I live. At least I got soap to wash my hands. Instead of going outside and begging for fucking money for beer. or coming up here begging me for beer and all that shit. After a while, you have to get you have to get angry. I feel like that dude. You ever watch the movie Network? That's what I feel like. I feel like that guy from, I forgot what his name is, what the character's name is, from the movie Network. Watch that movie. Because that's what this feels like. But to tell me what to go do with my cards, these are mine until I decide to sell them. The customer does not dictate the cost of things. The seller does. And this out of 75 Jack Leiter Purple Mojo refractor has been priced or recomped accordingly to what I see. And if people don't like it, don't buy it. Find one of your own. But this card revealed everything I needed to know now about the sad state of sports card collecting. By the end of tonight, that card will be taken down from my listings. If it doesn't sell by today, it's gone. That people, I get the economy sucks, but we have some cutthroat motherfuckers out there. I'm just going to say my piece. By the way, if you're new to the channel, folks, I'd really appreciate it if you would hit that thumbs up button. Subscribe if you haven't done so already. Check out my eBay store. The link is in the description box of this live stream and every video and live stream that I do. Shameless eBeg over. Hit the bell to receive notifications, but definitely hit that thumbs up button. It really helps. But this is fucking awful, man. Yeah. Man, I don't know if you heard that snap, crackle, pop. That's stress. This is another one of those issues I may care a little too much about. How dare somebody dictate the course of what I sell my things for? And now that Teapot has revealed the sad truth about card grading after he did that. What he did with that Ken Griffey Jr. is amazing. I'm sure it took a ton of money. You know what it costs? Not just to get this card graded, but the shipping, and if you pay for like certain services, et cetera, to expedite the process a lot faster. He must have spent a ton of money. I give Teapot a lot of credit on this one for doing what he did. That must have cost a small fortune to crack a slab, resubmit it, crack a slab, resubmit it, crack a slab, resubmit it. That's a lot of money, man. But the greed is out of control. It's way out of control. It's out of control. And what's going on with this card right now at my eBay store, by the end of tonight, it'll be gone. I'm taking the listing down. Oh, I'm going to pay you $400. No, you're not. I dictate the course of my sales. This is like if I ran a bar or a restaurant. If you're drunk and you're out of control, your ass is out the door. I reserve the right to control what goes on in my environment. I am the owner of my eBay store. These are my baseball cards. Just like the sneakers I gave to the mailman from a customer that bought sneakers off of me. The El Cesar Converses. Those are my sneakers until they leave my hands. Until the customer pays for them. They're no longer mine. Until then, I sell them what I sell them for. Just like this. And if I want to raise the price on my cards, I'm allowed to. Because that's what I see. And out of 99 of this particular card is going anywhere between 12 and 15 bucks. There are a whole bunch of them over at eBay right now. After doing some Google research, and copying this card through Card Ladder and all that stuff, these are going for like $15 to almost $20, something like that. 99, 75. The less a number on the thing, the more expensive it gets. Apparently, people out there don't understand mathematics. I mean, most of these people are fucking Common Core idiots. One wood block plus another wooden block equals 11. Dim-witted idiots. And I know a lot of you are like me. A lot of you are tired of this shit. One of one's getting stolen. You try to order for product from Fanatics or Tops and you can't get it because it's instantly allocated to the breakers or these LCSs. It happened with me with Sapphire a while back, and I made a whole video about it. It's all because of the hype with the one of one Paul Skeens that some random kid pulled out west. And Dick's Sporting Goods paid him all that money for that card. Now what happens, and I own a high-end Paul Skeens. The base refractor, the red out of 5 of this guy sold at Fanatics auction recently for $3,200. I paid $1,120 plus shipping for this card at auction. This card as a Mojo refractor will definitely, if I were to sell it, will probably get more because typically the variants of these parallels tend to sell for more. The shimmers, the mini diamonds, the Mojo refractors. I would estimate that card to be at least $3,500 or more at this point. The fucking greed is just insane. The theft of one of ones. Pac-Man throwing a fucking fit on camera because nobody was buying his cards. It's like that in the gaming space. You look up this Dark Side Phil guy, DSP. I've never seen a person attacked more besides Boogie and what's his name? What's the other fat asshole? I can't stand him. Review Tech USA. You see all the videos about them. Check out Dark Side Phil. There are multiple. I've never seen anything like it because of how Dark Side Phil attacks his audience. And this is a guy who's my age who plays video games and expects to be paid for video game playing. And he claims it's a business. I'm alleging things. I'm not accusing. I'm alleging based on the evidence at hand and what I've watched myself in real time, what he does. He literally shames people for not donating to him, and he attacks his audience. This is different because you're dealing with a legitimate business owner who runs an LLC out of his home, who has had a great track record, except for a couple hiccups now and then, to come across the greed that has completely overtaken the sports card hobby. And certain talking heads, even though I am a critic of certain talking heads here on YouTube, a lot of them are right. It is gambling. And then you're going to tell me what I should and should not. You're going to dictate the price of what I'm selling my stuff for? Fuck you. It's my card until I decide to part ways with it. I set the price. A lot of these people, they want something for nothing. That's not how the real world works. You don't like it, find a card somewhere else. One customer actually did that and sent me a photo. Well, I paid $400 for this. Well, good for you. I'm happy for you. Good. You got your Barry Bonds auto. Congratulations. No, it's in an SGC holder. It's too big. It looks ugly. I don't like the black that it's in. Ew. Well, technically, PSA owns SGC, Therefore, logically speaking, this is technically a fucking PSA holder. Idiots. It's only 1 o'clock. Let me see something here quickly. Again, I'm not bashing my customers, my good, loyal customers. I'm not bashing you folks. I am bashing those that have exposed this hobby for what it is. It's not fun. It's not fun. That's why I don't open up any more wax, because it's too expensive. And it's just not fun. Everything has a fucking... Yes, things cost money. But when you're trying to literally get over on people. Why did you raise your price? It was $6. Because I can. I see what the card is going for now. Now that we're in the preseason, you're starting to get an idea where players are. I have that right to do so. It's my business, my card. Until somebody buys it, this belongs to me at the end of the day, whether you like it or not. Like if I were to sell this jersey, it's mine until I decide to sell it, whether you like it or not. By the way, if you're new to the channel, folks, don't forget to subscribe. Hit that thumbs up button. Hit the bell to receive notifications, and check out my eBay store. The link is in the description box below. I will be doing another hard relist in the beginning of March, which is right around the corner. Surprisingly, man, this year is going by like this. So you want to help the support of small business, that's how you can do it. And I really appreciate my customers that have done so already. I'm still waiting for a response from the customer that bought them Heston Kjerstad's. You know, and again, as a recap of what happened, unfortunately, the person bought 3 of these, but unfortunately I only have the 2. So I did offer, and I sent photos of these, and offer to the customer to either, you know, choose one of these, whatever they cost, to replace that card, or of course, I'll refund the price of the one card. So, but again, like I said, folks, if you want to help to support a small business, check out my eBay store. The link is in the description box below. Hit that like button, hit that thumbs up button, and subscribe to the channel. It really helps. I know my most recent live streams have been a nightmare to watch. Some of you are probably getting entertainment out of it, I'm sure, watching me blow up on camera. But a lot of this shit is based on facts. And based on the state of things, the way they are. You know, like when I talked about my ex-girlfriend, you know, this new girl cheating on me for no fucking reason. I didn't deserve that. I did nothing to deserve that. To be cheated on Valentine's Day. To find a photo of her. And then she uploaded another YouTube short recently, which I turned into a meme over at my community page. With no explanation, no answers. Of course, she has me blocked on WhatsApp. You know how miserable that makes me feel? I did nothing wrong. With no explanation. And just like this pot-smoking fucking it-what-who pronoun freak that borrowed my vacuum and brought it back broken. Just like the assholes that are trying to get this for nothing. What is wrong with this world? This is not a rhetorical question. I want to know what the fuck is going on in this world, in the state of affairs of where we are today. It can't be politics. There's got to be something else. And it takes balls. And I give Teapot credit. The amount of money he must have poured into to have that Ken Griffey Jr. cracked out of a slab, to have it resubmitted to all these different companies to get all these different results. That must have taken a lot of time and a lot of money to do so. I give him a lot of credit for doing that. And it exposes this fucking hobby for what it is. What's real and what's not. It's like living in a simulation, man. And it's getting worse and worse and worse. You know, when I see the fuckery that goes on over at my eBay store with people trying to get something for nothing, because they're either trying to make money off of me, or whatever their modus operandi is. But don't tell me what I can and cannot sell my cards for. They're mine until I decide to sell them, and I'll sell them for whatever price I so choose to. And if the prices go up, I raise my prices accordingly. That's how it works. I'll still try to keep the prices as normal as I can, like I always do. But at the end of the day, they are my cards. These are my things that I'm selling. And I'll do as I please with my stuff. And anybody that's ever dealt with me, especially here on YouTube or on eBay, you know how I operate. I give away free cards to people. If you order in bulk, I always give away 4, 5, 6, 10 cards, whatever it may be. I give away cards to people. I give cards to the kids in the neighborhood here sometimes. I can do that. None of it makes sense, folks. But this hobby is getting more cutthroat, and it's getting more greedy, and it's getting worse by the minute. Doesn't have to be this way. It shouldn't be this way. This was meant to be fun. It was meant to be a pastime. Does anybody use that word anymore? Pastime? Pastime. Nobody uses these old school words. Maybe it's time to bring back the old school language. It's a fucking pastime. That's what it was. It's what it's supposed to be. Yeah, I like making money too. I'm not making a ton of money. It's enough to put food on my table. It's enough every so often. Again, like I said, my sales were so good during the holidays. You folks helped me to buy a pair of these. These exact shoes, by the way. And all the supplements I take to manage my blood sugar and all that kind of stuff. And then you got the world outside my door, which is a complete disaster. If it wasn't for my good friends that are around here, I'd be a complete shut-in. I would basically have food delivered to my door if I didn't have to go out and feed myself. I would rather be a shut-in. This world is just not worth my time. And the people out there, the way they behave, especially with this, all they care about is getting fucking high. Oh, my mom is saving money for me to buy a car. Yeah, but you stink of fucking weed, so where are your priorities? Clearly not saving for a car. Your main goal is to be down with the crew, to be a hip-hop yo-G, smoking weed to be cool because you're so stressed out. Really, staying home all day? I stay home all day. I'm almost 50 years old. I earned my retirement because I risked my life at that fucking World Trade Center site for all the thanks that I still don't get to this day. And I don't want any thanks. But I earned my place to fucking sit on this chair. Retired. Not by choice, by necessity. And still get fucking treated like shit and taken advantage of by people. And then when I'm, trying to do my thing, I got people trying to tell me what to go do with myself when it comes to things like this. Fuck you people. I can't believe some of the messages I've been getting. And now that teapot, again, I'll show. I got it right here. A Griffey PSA 10. Exposing grading for what it is. This is not a perfect Ken Griffey Jr. Look at that hologram. How off-centered that is. If this was supposed to be a perfect PSA 10, explain that on the back. And I'm saying it, and I own one. Of the 4,700, 4,900 of these that are out there in PSA 10s. Like the now 5,000 of these, 5,000 are now graded PSA 10 and still fetching prices of $3,300 to $3,500 each. The hobby doesn't make sense. It contradicts itself. And every day that goes by, it's getting worse and worse and worse. Again, I mentioned Pac-Man. I mentioned all these assholes, people stealing 101s out of the live breaks on camera, and then they disappear and they run off with people's money. And sellers like me try to be the anti-matter of that. Sellers like myself will try to be transparent and honest. We end up fucking paying the price for other people's greed and bullshit. And it's not fair. It's really not fair, and it's not right. The ethics and morals has been flushed out the door for the sake of profit. I'm lucky I make $1 with my baseball card sales. And I appreciate it, and I thank everybody for it. But everybody else that's out there that's trying to control this hobby for the sake of fucking greed, this one card has now changed my mind about the hobby. And how I see the hobby now for what it is. It's a bastion of greed. And these people these people think they're going to get something for nothing? I don't think so. Until the day that this thing leaves my hands, it is mine to do as I please. I could take my Sawzall in my closet right now and cut this thing in half if I chose to. I could smash this thing. I got a ball peen hammer in my closet, and I have a carpenter's hammer in my closet. And I can use either the two of them. I have a fucking side grinder in my closet. I can cut this thing up into a million pieces. I could fling it across the grass outside if I chose to. It's mine. I do what I want with it. If people are going to tell me what I should be selling my cards for, fuck you. The response I got for this one card alone, because I raised the price on it, that's my prerogative to do so. When I do the homework and I do the research and I take the time off camera to recomp my cards, some prices come down, some prices go up. That's the way it works. That's fucking capitalism. That's the economy for you. I'm getting a headache talking about this anymore. This world is out of control. The ethical and moral center of our society is rotting away. It's like a melting ice cube. Like what happened with my fucking vacuum cleaner that I had for 10 years because of a pot-smoking piece of shit that's worthless to fucking society. Fucking leeches. Like leeches. And people like me always have to pay the price for this shit. Women that spread their legs to every fucking man that they see. Dating a woman that fucking cheats on me for no reason, and then I see it here on YouTube with another man wrapped around her arms with flowers in her hand. What did I do to deserve that? I had flowers here for Valentine's, and teddy bears and chocolates for her. I bought steaks to cook for her. We could even have gone out. What did I do to deserve to be cheated on? With no explanation. And she still has me blocked on WhatsApp. She has me blocked. I can't text her. I can't call her. With no explanation because she got caught. No apologies. I don't expect an apology. Everybody that's ever fucking hurt me in my life, I expect no apologies from. It's not going to happen. I'm sorry. My bad. My fault. I was wrong. And I always end up with the shit end of the stick when it comes to things like this. And now I got people over the past 2 or 3 weeks. It's only within the last 2 or 3 weeks. Ever since I listed this card, I've now seen the fucking greed that exists with my own 2 eyes, based on one card alone. And this one now. How greedy and how dare I say cheap, how fucking greedy people really are. That they want something for nothing. Just to fucking flip it. It's like the asshole, again, I mentioned that Daniel Jones jersey. Wanted it for 50, 60 bucks. I wanted like 80 bucks, which I did get what I wanted out of it. Maybe a little bit less than that. I don't remember. But I did sell it eventually. just to get fucking nasty messages that I didn't bow down to a reseller. Fuck you. It's one of these Midwestern fucking gross lumberjack, ugly backwoods trailer park motherfuckers, probably with a gross trucker hat that's stained brown from cigarette smoking. It's out of control, folks. What's happening these days with just about anything? You can't have fun with anything anymore. You can't enjoy yourself with anything anymore. You really can't. At least in the Transformers collecting space, in the toy space, that way, even if you can't get a mainline toy, there are knockoffs of those things. And I'm not supporting I'm not supporting buying knockoffs or anything like that, but they're out there. And collectors default to them because they don't want to pay resellers. They don't want to pay $500, $600. Like, I was a fool. And I've said this, and I'll admit it again. I was impatient when the 2025 Nike Air Jordan White Cements came out, the reissues with the new shape. I got impatient. And I paid... Damn it. It's my anxiety. That I paid 2x for them shoes more than what I should have. And now you can still get them for retail. Plus shipping, if I chose to order them from legitimate websites. I was able to get these for retail. Because people are tired of having to pay 3, 4, 5x of some fucking lonely, loathsome dirtbag that really I can't say it on YouTube because YouTube has rules. So I'm going to refrain from saying what I want to say. But it's aggravating dealing with society's fucking leeches and lowly, loathsome fucking people. Good for you, Teapot, for exposing this stuff. I give Teapot a lot of credit. I was a huge critic of his as well, like most other people of Cards HQ, but he exposed something in this hobby that even grading is bullshit because of greed. And these companies know, if I were to crack this open, send it in, crack it open, you know how much money that costs? I can only imagine how much that costs Teapot to do that experiment. And with the different companies and the different scales, plus you also have to have a value on the card for insurance reasons or whatever it is. Declared value, they call it. And to pay that premium for that, I can imagine he must have spent hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of dollars to do that. Much credit to him for exposing what it is. Mine's not a perfect 10, and I know it. Take a look at that. Look at that diamond on there. The hologram. That's off center. That's not a perfect 10, is it? But yet PSA graded it a 10. And this still is a Lighthouse label, by the way. But that's not a perfect 10. The hologram is off center. But they let that one go because I guess that's a symptom of manufacturing. That's one of those things I'll let go of. But I guess I'm lucky to have one of them now because of the standards that PSA has now with the way they grade things. 55-45, you know what that is to try to land a 55-45 today? And now they've raised their rates on people. People are going to get fed up with it, I'm telling you. Sneaker culture died because of shit like this. And people are going to get tired of it. I don't know how people aren't going to tag in CGC at this point. To get away from PSA. SGC, like I said, it's like the leper colony of card grading. Oh, it's in an SGC slab. Well, technically, it's a fucking PSA slab because PSA owns them. Dumbasses. Illogical dummy Neanderthals. Logic. Logic. I got all them Shohei Otanis over there I dug up. I'll probably list them. And I still got plenty of top loaders left, and I got a whole bunch of cards to list in March. A lot of prisms, a lot of inserts. There's a lot of color in there still. Some mojos. I mean, a lot of stuff coming up, folks. But eventually, I'm gonna have to start buying wax. Probably sooner than, well, technically not sooner than later, but eventually, I'm gonna have to start buying more wax to rip on the channel. You want the MJs? These guys here? Yeah, the Bugs Bunnies are awesome, man. I mean, I finally broke them in. I actually took a nice long walk with these and broke them in real nice. The toe box, surprisingly, doesn't even look worn at all. I'm shocked at how nice the toe box still looks, by the way. But yeah, the Bugs Bunny 8s, it took a while for to break these in because they feel very flat on my feet. But once you break them in, they're really not all that bad. So, and this is because of my eBay customers buying this for me, literally, through my sales in December. I was able to pick these up. So thank you to all of you for supporting my eBay store. And plus, it gives me content to make here on YouTube, because I love Nike Air Jordans. And I love sneakers, just like I love jerseys. I care too much, man. I'm one of them guys that sometimes I wear my heart on my sleeve. Jordan won his second championship. That is correct. Anyway, folks, if you're new to the channel, I know I don't have many watchers because it's very early in the afternoon. I have a different audience during the day than at night. If you're new to the channel, don't forget to subscribe to the channel. Hit that thumbs up button. Also, check out my eBay store. The link is in the description box below of this live stream. I appreciate everybody so far that's done so. But again, don't forget to hit that thumbs up button, hit that like button. Shameless e-bag over. But yeah, man, it's very shocking to see what I've been seeing in the past 2 weeks over at my eBay store. It's shameless that people are actually going to dictate. That they're actually going to dictate what I sell my stuff for, or what I should be selling my stuff. Like, no, I honor suggestions and advice. But when you're literally trying to tell me what I shouldn't do with my stuff, and what I see certain stuff being sold for, fuck you. It's that simple. And my eBay customers, I've had about 3,000 sales at this point in 2 years' time. It's a lot of stuff being sold. I've learned a thing or two about doing this, but this is something completely new to me. The greed is out of control. And I find myself at that point, I'm repeating myself, which means there's not much more to say on this topic. I'm sorry my latest live streams have not been the most upbeat and happy. I like talking about jerseys. You know, there have been a few people during my live streams, we talk about soccer or football. We talk about the jerseys I'm wearing. We talk about baseball. Talk about, you know, Transformers toys. Getting into deep, dark subject matter like this, I hate doing it because, you know, it does become emotionally taxing after a while. It sucks because it's all truth. It's not my truth. It is the truth because we see it. Our eyes do not lie to us, Dan the Cardman. A lot of guys that I criticize and I'm really not 100% in agreement with. Sports Card Dad, Dan the Cardman. Who else? Oh man, I'm brain farting right now. It's because Neo Cards and Comics. A lot of other John Sports Cards. A lot of guys that make content about this particular subject or these subjects that criticize the talking heads or criticize each other. You know, I see it myself with box breakers. Like Pac-Man was the most latest example. And this idiot that had that 1 of 1. What was it? A soccer card? He pulled a 1 of 1 of this card and then disappeared and fucked over his customer. that legitimately probably bought into that player or team. My head hurts, folks, talking about this. Talking about these subjects lately has really worn me down. It's freezing cold outside, and I almost feel like taking a random walk to nowhere just to get out and get some fresh air. And I hate talking about topics like this. I hate talking about these subjects because it's nerve-wracking what goes on. The greed is out of control now. It doesn't have to be. It shouldn't be. Just be careful who you're dealing with out there, folks. If you can't tell, I've literally given myself a headache talking about this. I care greatly about this hobby. I care greatly about my business. I care about my eBay customers. But there are some people that are so unhinged and unrealistic and greedy. The greed that's in this hobby now. It's not fun. The hobby is no longer fun to me. And I am seriously considering selling these. I can use a new car. I have enough in these 5 slabs alone to buy a new car. If I were to get market value for these. 6, 12. There's probably now, if I'm just taking a wild guess, anywhere between $10,000 to $12,000 just in the cards. These 5 cards alone, and that's enough for a new car, or a vacation, or both. I still have credit for the airline that I use to fly back and forth to New York, and my family had been screaming for me to go back to New York. At least to visit. This shit's out of control. By the end of the day, if nobody buys this card, I'm pulling it from my listings. I probably am going to hold on to this card, most likely as a trophy piece, because this one card has now exposed this hobby for what it is. I get that there are a lot of Barry Bonds autos out there. These 2 cards alone, what Teapot did with the grading companies to submit this to every grading company, Tag, Arena Club, what was it? It was PSA, Tag, Arena Club, SGC, CGC, Beckett, and it was like a roller coaster. That exposed the hobby for what it is. What's going on with this card right now? I understand there's a ton of Barry Bonds autos out there now, and the autograph has depreciated. But don't come at me trying to dictate terms of what I should sell the card for. I pay attention to trends. I have to. That's how I base my card prices on. But don't tell me what I should and should not do with my stuff. If I see a card has increased in price, I am going to increase the price on that card, whether you like it or not. It's mine until I decide to sell it. These fucking sports card people are like children. They really are. They're like overgrown fucking man children. It's ridiculous. Swollen beer belly, Midwestern trucker hat, brown stained trucker hat, Marlboro smoking, swollen beer belly, sad pricks that you see at card conventions or at some comic book store. Get fucking real. Get real. And I know other content creators won't be as blunt as I am or pragmatic as I am. is they're trying to save face. I don't give a damn. I will say what it is. But this card I might as well just keep as a trophy piece, as a reminder. I should put it up on my wall somewhere. And I got plenty of that what do they call them? Command hooks. I got plenty of those tacky strips that I can put on the back here and just stick it on my wall or stick it here on my desk as a reminder as to how greedy this hobby has become. And how people out there want something for nothing. That's not how the real world works. This hobby has got to, it's not even a hobby, it's a business now. I have a silver coin. This is a silver Morgan dollar. People are trying to turn this into this. It's now a pawn shop in reverse. That I'm going to list a card for a certain price and then you're going to dictate what you're willing to pay for that? Fuck you. No. There are times I'll negotiate prices with my customers, but don't try to dictate terms as to what I do with my stuff. They're literally trying to turn this into this. You can blame the Jeff Wilsons of the world for that, and the Pac-Mans and the box breakers for that. And I know you fuckers don't like that. I would yet to see a content creator do what I just did, to rub it in your faces. There are people that are trying to turn this physical, tangible currency, this is a silver Morgan dollar, into this. They're trying to turn this into this. They're trying to turn this into this. They're trying to make these the same. Even Ken Golden said it himself. Wake up, folks. You're being taken for a ride. This will never be this unless it's a Mickey Mantle or Hank Aaron or some crazy shit like the one of one Paul Skeens. And that's a modern card. And that thing went completely off the rails. Or a Hogness Wagner. People are literally trying to turn this into this. Listen to the difference, by the way, between a modern 50-cent piece. That's not silver, by the way. That's just your standard run-of-the-mill 50-cent piece. You hear that? You can tell the silver one because the silver one has a little bit more. A little more brighter in its sound. My dad used to carry a 50-cent piece. That's why I have this one. This is not his 50-cent piece, but he always carried a 50-cent piece. Forgot to ask you, what did you think about the Super Bowl as far as the halftime show is concerned? I'll answer that very quickly. I think what Turning Point USA did really was amazing. The Super Bowl in and of itself was mediocre at best. I'm a New York Giants fan, so I immediately had no interest in the Super Bowl. I watched it just to see what would happen, but when the halftime show came up, I immediately watched Turning Point USA's halftime show. It was, I'm not much of a country fan, but as an American and for the principle in and of itself and what they were trying to promote during that halftime show, my full support went to Turning Point USA. And everybody jumped on the bandwagon. What was the quarterback's name for the Patriots? Everybody jumped on the bandwagon. Buy this card, buy this card. Jeff Wilson, buy this card. It's going up in value. Oh, look at the... And then the Patriots lost. So now everybody's wiping their ass with that card. Yeah, there was no performance. There was nothing. It was nothing. It was boring. It was shit. It was not an exciting Super Bowl, and the Patriots deserve to lose. I do watch games that don't involve teams that I follow, like in a Champions League or the Bundesliga with Bayern Munich. But if Bayern don't make it, in the Champions League, I'll still watch the final just to see what happens. You know what I mean? But as far as like my loyalty is concerned, my loyalty goes out the wayside because my guys didn't make it. I'm a sports fan. Yeah, I agree. There was Brady is the GOAT, plain and simple. Brady is the GOAT, and nothing's going to change that. And everybody was buying. What's his name? May or something like that. I forget what his name is. I don't care. I'm not a Patriots fan. Couldn't care less. But everybody was hyping Jeff Wilson. Buy this card. It's going up in value. Go up. And then you look at eBay, and the prices for base cards are going up like mad. And now they lost the Super Bowl. Don't buy into hype. I waited. Hall of Famer. Hopefully will be a Hall of Famer. Fan favorite of us Yankees fans. Don Mattingly. Donnie Baseball. This dude, Paul Skeens, potentially is going to be a Hall of Famer. Already has his first Cy Young Award. Potentially more down the road. Going to be playing in the World Baseball Classic. And probably will be an all-star as well. Shohei Ohtani needs no explanation. No introduction. Same thing with Aaron Judge. Needs no... Did you see already in the preseason? He's already wailing balls out of the ballpark. Because he's prepping for the World Baseball Classic to play for our guys in the United States. All of those guys earned it. But buy into the hype. Buy it. I need your money because you're a sucker. Don't buy into hype, folks. When are you people going to learn to stop hype buying? The only reason I bought that Paul Skeens, that was the most recent big boy card that I bought at auction. Oop, here we go. What do we got here now? Recently viewed. What is this one? Buy it now. Oh, this is because I was comping that Paul Skeens refractor that I have. The red mojo out of 5. So there's an orange I think it's an orange shimmer. Hold on one second. Let me check this listing real quick. Well, actually, you know what? I don't want to mess with this because every time I mess with this, my live streams, when I go to my other apps on my phone, it tends to screw with the chat and screws at everything that I see on my end here. So I'll look at that later. But I saw $5,000. I almost want to say that's because there's an orange shimmer out of 25 being sold right now. And I have the red out of 5 Mojo Fractor. Why is that shimmer being sold for $5,000 as a PSA 10? You know what? I'm curious. I have to look. Don't go nowhere, folks. Let me see. All right, good. My phone didn't go anyplace. Yep, it's exactly what it is. And you know who's selling it? PSA. On eBay. Let me show you how fucked up this is. And I have evidence of this. Go to my community page. A recent red out of 5, a base out of 5. No shimmer, no mini diamond, none of that stuff. Not even this Mojo Fractor. A recent base red refractor out of 5 of this Paul Skeens prospect card sold at auction through Fanatics for $3,200, right? I paid $1,120 plus shipping for this card at auction on eBay. Typically, shimmers, mini diamonds, Mojo Fractors typically go for a little bit more than their base counterparts as far as even the numbered parallels are concerned. PSA is selling an orange out of 25 shimmer of this card for $5,000 or best offer. How is that possible? It's an out of 25 shimmer. And they're selling theirs for $5,000 while Fanatics sold the base red refractor out of 5 for $3,200. Where is PSA coming up with this price? Thank you for that comment right there. I wish I could highlight my comments. Yeah, I've ordered from you. You are the only one I've seen that has fair prices. I try, man. That's why I come on here. for transparency. I'm not just a collector. I'm also a consumer. I know what it is to see things from the other side of the other side of the coin. But if the price of a card goes up, it must be for a reason. Supply, demand, performance, things like that. And to have somebody tell me, "Oh, why are you selling that now for $18 when you were offering it for $6?" Because I reserve the right to, because the price has gone up on this card. And I do offer 10%. If I see enough interest in a card and I see the watcher count go up, that's when I'll throw a 10% offer out there. And almost immediately people scoop them up. But lately something's changed over at my eBay store. And this is the best example of that. After tonight, I'm taking this listing down. I'm going to leave it up until tonight sometime, and I'm going to hold on to this card, it looks like. That people are telling me I need to sell this for $400. Fuck you. It's worth what it's worth, based on what I see and the research and homework that I do. It's in an SGC slab. I'm repeating myself again. But I appreciate the sentiment. Thank you. See, we have one of my customers in the chat right now, if you're watching this live. I don't have anything to prove to anybody. I shouldn't have to anyway. I think I've earned my reputation. But the shit that I see that goes on in this hobby, and I appreciate that comment. And things like that mean a lot to me because it shows that hard work pays off. My customers are happy. I'm happy. Everybody wins. But to come at me saying, "Oh, why did you raise that card? You know, you offered it for $6. How come it's 18 now?" Because that's what I see it going for. The out of 99 of this Mojo refractor is going for $12 to $15. So raising the price from $6 to $18 is correct. It's proper comping. I comped it properly. There's nothing wrong with that. That's how the economy works. Appreciation and I'm getting a headache. I feel like I'm on top of a wooden soapbox beating a drum at this point. That there are literally people that are out there that are trying to turn this into this. That's the best example I have for all of you, ladies and gentlemen. People actually think that this is going to turn into this. There are only a very few examples of cards in this world, like Michael Jordan rookie cards, Mickey Mantle cards, Hank Aaron cards, the Paul Skeens 1 of 1. There are only certain cards that ever make it to that plateau. But everything else, they are what they are. But the greed is so out of control. I'm happy that I have customers, man. And again, I'm sure I have a good feeling. I have a good feel for. You have to get a feel for the room. I know most of my consumer base are true collectors. Probably blue collar jobs, maybe some white collar. Maybe you have personal issues going on in your life. I'm very open with a lot of stuff that goes on. Again, last night, look what happened with that fucking pot smoking shit for brains. That broke my vacuum cleaner that was given to me by an NYPD friend of mine that used to live here 10 years ago when I first left New York to come down here. Talking about things like that for context reasons. I get tired of people's bullshit. And a lot of you are probably going through personal issues like I am. I didn't ask to be cheated on Valentine's Day. I didn't ask to stop a knife-wielding maniac from killing one of my neighbors, and then I almost lost my lease because of somebody else for doing the right thing, operating under not just the Second Amendment, but North Carolina General Assembly 14-5, 2.1.2 and .3, the stand your ground law, which would have been an instant civil rights lawsuit if I didn't get my lease. Thank God now everything has been smoothed over and done. But I have to mention it for context reasons. Many of you have gone through bullshit in your lives. Divorce. Maybe you had a woman cheat on you, like what happened with me on Valentine's Day. And you found out about it. And your heart's fucking broken to pieces. Your hopes and dreams get smashed to bits. Maybe you're just getting by, and all you want is a fucking baseball card to take your mind away from all this shit. Maybe you're not political. Pardon me. I bring up politics all the time. It's just a fact of life, unfortunately, today. And maybe you don't want to hear about, like tonight's supposed to be the State of the Union address with Trump. You know what's going to happen. It's going to be a shit show. The Democrats are going to sit on their ass. The Republicans are going to be up and down like it's a fucking, like they're on a horse. And Trump is going to do nothing but gloat. You know, it's going to be a gloat fest. I did all this for the economy. We have secure borders. Yeah, I did all that. Yeah, I did that. I did this. I did. It's going to be a gloat fest. That's what he's going to do. We all know how he operates. For the good things that he has done, there are a lot of things that I don't like that he does. And I'm saying that as a guy that voted for him. There's shit that he does that I don't like. He's got to tone it down a little bit. And he still doesn't. I know he knows how to play 4D chess and all that kind of stuff, but there's things that drive me up a wall that I can't stand. Now with the tariff bullshit again. I've talked about this on this channel, how much more it costs me to order for jerseys from Europe with the extra tax added onto it because of the tariffs. We as American citizens are forced to pay extra money because of bullshit. Yeah, we have been bent over on a 90-degree angle by people across the pond. That's a fact. But over here, we're paying extra for stuff. And I got here. There's a crushed up sugar-free Red Bull can. You know why the cost of this went up? It's not because of the liquid inside. It's the aluminum. The cost of the metal to contain said liquid. You have to know and understand these things, folks. But again, like I said, and that's why I appreciate that comment. That means a lot to me. Because that means, you know, somebody out there, maybe you're retired, you worked all your life, you broke your ass. Maybe you're on permanent disability. Maybe you're going through all this family stuff. Maybe like what happened with me last year with my father dying. And you have that weighing on your shoulders, that emotionally you're hurting. And all you want is just one thing. You got that one vice to get away from all of that stress and depression and anxiety. And all you want to do is have a baseball card. And I see it from that point of view. Here's another comment I appreciate, folks, and I hope you're reading this chat if you're watching this live. Cards are my escape, so thank you for that. And thank you for supporting my eBay store, this channel, and your fellow hobbyist. My father's mass card, again, is right in front of me. I'm going to take it off. I'm going to take it off here. My father's mass card is here with his photo. I think about my dad all the time. I think about my father all the time. And sometimes when I'm sitting here, I look at his photo. I have a baseball that I found that was his in my boxes. I didn't even remember if I had anything of his here until my brother sent me my dad's vintage baseball cards. And there was that damn fucking baseball, that Wilson vintage baseball. I didn't even know I had this in my boxes after all these years of condensing all the stuff that I have in my bedroom closet. There it was. This was my dad's baseball. Whether he got this at a game or he bought it at that time would have been not Sports. Well, Sports Authority doesn't exist anymore. What was the other big retail store for sports? Oh shit. Sports Authority was one in New York. What was the other one? I forget. Oh man, I'm really brain farting now. But wherever he got it, it was his. And there are times I just want to sit here. I got Studio Series Soundwave right here on my desk. There are times I'll fiddle with him, transform him, put him back into his robot mode, put him up on my desk. And then just for that brief moment, I can take my mind away from missing my father. That I can't believe this June is going to be a year since he died. How quickly all that time passed. A lot of people don't realize in this fucking hobby how important. It's not just because they are fans of things, which I am a fan of things. What this hobby does for people that are going through hard times in their lives. If you're divorced, maybe you're on permanent disability. Maybe, I've said it openly. I suffer with 9/11 related post-traumatic stress disorder. I'm still wrestling with high blood sugar and neuropathy in my feet because of that. The insomnia I deal with jumping out. Well, I mean, it's been a lot less now since I've changed over those B6 vitamins to P5P. And I haven't had to take a sleeping, unless I have to take one of my knockout pills to help me sleep. I've been taking a lot less of that stuff because it's no good for your brain. And it makes me feel like shit the next day when I take that stuff. And I get those people as well. That all you want is just a little escapism. Turn off the TV. I don't want to hear about Trump. I don't want to hear about Biden. I don't want to hear about Epstein. I don't want to hear about any of this bullshit. I just want to listen to my 80s music, eat a sandwich, drink my Red Bulls, and be left the fuck alone. And if I see people who I enjoyed the company of, I'll take the time, say hi. When I get invited to hang out at people's places, sit there, bullshit all day, all night. Everything else to me is a waste of time. And all you want is just to sit there and lose yourself for a couple minutes. This one piece of paper with a photo of a man throwing a ball means more to a lot of people than all the money in the world. And I understand that better than anybody because I know what I've been through. And I talk about it openly here. Which is why, I enjoy Nike Air Jordan sneakers. I'm not a shill for them. They don't sponsor my channel. I pay for these out of my pocket. In particular through my eBay sales. You know why? It reminds me, I had hit and miss moments when I was a younger guy, when I was a kid. I had good times and I had bad times. I got bullied quite a bit as a kid until I learned how to stand up for myself. Wearing Jordans from the 80s and 90s reminds me of when things were a little bit more simpler and a little bit more easier. It was more innocent. And now that I'm almost a 50-year-old grown-ass man, every moment counts. Every moment counts. There's more days behind me than there are ahead. And this one little object right here makes the difference between me having an emotional collapse, thinking about my father dying, or the images that to this day of what I saw at that World Trade Center site, I hope nobody ever sees. And I was there for a fraction of the time that most other people were. And I can only imagine the shit that they're going through still to this day. There are a lot of people still that were down there that don't even have a tenth of what I was able to succeed in. Going to courts, going through alcoholism, drinking and drinking and drinking. I still have little bouts once in a while. But now I have this mechanism in my brain. I have this mechanism in my brain to shut myself off. Like last night, I could have opened up when I did that live stream last night. I could have got myself pissed drunk if I wanted to. What did I do? I cracked open a bottle of sparkling water to stop myself from doing this because that's how depressed I feel sometimes. And to be taken for granted and taken advantage of like this fucking pot-smoking, useless waste of sperm. I'm saving up for a car. Yeah, but you have enough money to buy weed, right? And then break my shit and return it to me broken? This is the world we live in. People are unrealistic. People refuse to be realistic. And I support anybody that has a thing like this or things like this that just want to get away from this world a little bit. The world gets a little too real sometimes. Imagine our military. Why do you think a lot of military people, when they come back from overseas, they try to find steady jobs? They take to, going to gun ranges, let's just say, because they're used to using firearms. So as a hobby, they go to the gun range and target shoot with their buddies who probably served. Or they get into Little League Baseball, or they collect baseball cards, or they collect toys. Patriot Prime. Look up Patriot Prime here on YouTube. Best example I got of that. Patriot Prime, who served. His whole channel is dedicated to toy collecting. Lately, he's been reviewing a lot of 80s GoBots, you know? But Patriot Prime is the best example of that. He's a military guy who served our country proudly. And you see how happy he is, how much joy he takes in talking about his toys and reviewing his collectibles. Look at what he does. He takes so much pleasure in doing that. That's something aspiring to look up to. I do. There are a lot of people that are ex-military or police officers and stuff like that that make that type of content. Donut Operator, former military, former police officer, another guy I like watching. And that whole crew. Brandon Herrera, all of them. Well, Demolition Ranch, he shut his channel down. He quit that to be with his family. And that's respectable. But Demolition Ranch, great channel when he was doing it, you know what I mean? But he walked away for his family's sake. People do things and have things for a reason. And so many people out there are misunderstood. I'm a broken toy myself. I didn't ask to be forced to retire from a fruitful career. My body simply could not take it anymore. My body couldn't handle it anymore. And I tried to live like I used to live, jumping into fucking pools and drinking, and my body can't tolerate it. My body simply cannot tolerate it. And as I get older, you know, even if I have one beer, I could feel it does. I could sit with my friends and have a couple beers, but my tolerance level has gone down so much that I can't handle it like I used to. I don't like going to bars because too many people are political out there and they want to fight and they want to argue and they take out their personal shit on strangers, and I don't like that. Sometimes I just want to stare at the rectangular object hanging on the wall to watch a game, and not to get involved with other people's shit. One little object can stop a person, and I've been down this road too, having bad thoughts like this. One little object like this can mean the difference between somebody wanting to do this to themselves and waking up to fight another day. And then you got people that want to take advantage of that. And there are people that take advantage of that. And this is the best example in my hand that I've ever had. I never understood the hobby, the dark aspects of this hobby more than I do now. That the greed is out of control. I'm not trying to make $1,000, $2,000, $3,000, $5,000, $10,000 like Jeff Wilson flaunts it. Oh, $20,000 on baseball cards. Oh, I just bought this box looking for a Joe Montana rookie or whatever the fuck. It's ridiculous. What's this comment here? Who's my favorite man? What does that mean? Who's my favorite man? That makes no sense. What does that mean? Who's my favorite man? Redefine that. It's improper English. Who's my favorite player? Sports player? What's my favorite team? I don't understand. Who's my favorite man? But this has definitely redefined everything for me. And watching Teapot's video, what he did with this, with one of these, you're gone. Ciao, auf Wiedersehen. Got no time for waste of sperm fucking internet children that want to get a cheap laugh off of a serious topic. Many of you are military. Many of you are probably EMTs, police officers. You just want something to fucking get away. I am very much aware of what EMTs and firefighters and police officers deal with. EMTs have to deal with all sorts of gruesome shit. They have to deal, let's say it, suicides, attempted suicides, car accidents. The human body is very fragile, folks. I'm tiptoeing around what I saw at Ground Zero in 2001. You have no idea how fragile the human body really is. And these people that work in these professions, you have no idea. They've had to train themselves to make inappropriate jokes when you know, say like if you're somebody that does an autopsy, if you're one of these people that does autopsies, you have to make a joke when you're looking inside the stomach contents of this cadaver. If you're a forensic pathologist, man, this fucker really liked his Burger King, didn't he? You know what I mean? Man, and you have to justify that because the smells, the sights, the reality of what's in front of you sometimes can have a very bad effect on people. And it does. And some of you just need an escape. Unfortunately, some of those things are so powerful to some people, they default to alcoholism and drug abuse. I've been down that road. I'll be honest with you. I have no reason to hide it. I still got the paperwork from many, many, many years ago, way before I moved here to North Carolina. I was addicted to Percocets and Vicodins. I can't even take aspirin anymore. I do take aspirin, but I have a stigma. That's why I criticize this whole thing with them trying to pass these marijuana laws. Unless you have ADHD or Asperger's or severe arthritis and pain, medical marijuana, I have no problem with. My father took it for a while. But if you're some fucking layabout asshole with his hat not brimmed off to the side like you're trying to be a yo-yo G, grabbing your crotch, walking around like, you know, somebody kicked your ball sack in, and you got fucking crabs between your legs, and all you care about is getting wasted for the sake of looking cool and thinking you're cool, because the world is so stressful because you're not doing anything to contribute to society like I did. I have zero sympathy for people getting arrested for marijuana possession. I really don't give a shit about these people. They're worthless. If you have ADHD, you have severe depression and anxiety, you suffer from post-traumatic stress. I can get that stuff, but I don't need it. I have things to keep me occupied and busy. I have a beautiful home, a beautiful view, fantastic friends. I have hobbies. I'm still going to talk about it. But from my point of view, from what I see, what goes on, you know, I had problems taking painkillers and all that shit. But what does it do? You're trying to feel good running away from the pain, but now you're trying to stop yourself from feeling bad. And that's the trap. And got help for it, and I've never taken it since. You know what it takes for me to even take an ibuprofen these days? And now as I've gotten older, my tolerance for beer drinking has gone down. If I have 3 beers, 4 beers, something like that, if I'm hanging out with one of my neighbors or one of my buddies, my tolerance has gone down. And now I have this thing in back of my brain where I shut myself off. All right, time to go home, time to stop. And that's a good thing. It's called self-control. So, man, we really went into a lot of dark topics, you know, today. But this is reality, folks. It's reality. This is the really real world, and the really real world sucks sometimes. It really does. It really does. But again, much credit to Teapot for exposing what these grading companies really are. As with all things, humans are not perfect, but there are humans that want to capitalize on mistakes and want to capitalize on people's fucking pain and suffering or whatever it may be. They're in it for the greed. They're in it for the quick buck. And this one card right here has taught me everything these two cards right here, I should pull the listings down for both of these cards and hold on to these as trophies. How greedy the hobby has become. It was like flying a kite. Do kids even fly kites anymore? Does anybody even know what a fucking kite is? Everybody's got drones now, so kites went the way of the dinosaur. They're probably too hard to use. Know what I mean? Who's this now on here? I have no idea who this is. I don't know. Anyway. But I appreciate all of you, ladies and gentlemen. Again, shameless e-beg incoming. You want to help to support the channel, do me a favor, hit that thumbs up button if you haven't done so already. Subscribe to the channel, hit the bell to receive notifications. Check out my eBay store. The link is below in the description box. It'll take you right to my eBay store. Thank you for those that have supported my eBay store. And I'm still waiting for the customer to respond to this. Anybody who's had eBay orders out with me recently, your eBay orders are out the door with the exception of this order here. The customer ordered 3 of them. Unfortunately, I only had 2 in stock. I'm waiting for a response to see what'll happen. We'll see what'll happen. But you guys and gals that have been supporting my eBay store, I really appreciate it. And 99 right, definitely thank you for your support as well. I appreciate you supporting my eBay store. And I'm not going to pull punches. This is what you get. What you see is what you get. I'm not going to pull punches unless I'm wrong with an assessment or if I feel I've gone a little too far. Yeah, I may apologize. But I'm not going to pretend that a piece of wood is not a piece of wood. I'm not going to pretend that plastic is not plastic. Things are what they are. Like my dad's baseball right here. I have my own baseball, my own Major League Baseball that I bought over at Walmart a year or 2 ago. It's been sitting up on my desk. The girl I was dating that had me falsely arrested because she's an illegal immigrant and doesn't even fucking belong here in the first place, bought me a globe, a baseball globe that is now part of North Carolina's landfill. And I decided to buy a real baseball because I don't need things from people that are fake and false and phony. Can I finally open this thing up without? Yeah, okay. I have to pull away. That's what she said. And there it is. It's a little dinged up from being on these little plastic tabs here, but there it is, a real Major League Baseball. Those are still hand-stitched, believe it or not. Yeah, they are. Have you ever seen, I love watching videos of how things are made, and you see the machining that goes into real Major League Baseballs like this. Yeah, they still hand-stitch them. And the final stitch, they dig into the baseball so it doesn't peel, which is kind of cool. But yeah, there you go. Real Rawlings Major League Baseball. And this was not from a game. This was bought at Walmart, by the way, over at the Super Walmart. And there it is for my desk. More for morale. That's the word I was looking for, morale. Like a lot of you who are into these hobbies. It's all about morale, man. It's all about walking away from bullshit. Walking away from stress. Walking away from fakes and frauds. Like the girl that was supposed to be with me for Valentine's that I found out cheated on me. And still has me blocked with no explanation at all. It hurt me for no fucking reason at all. And I did nothing to this woman. But that's how they are today. Not every woman, but a lot of them are like that. I could see it in my face. Look at the lines on my face. Excuse me, from the weight loss. You know, I'm currently 180, 188 right now. I lost more weight from all of this stress. I broke the 190 mark. I'm down to 188 now. A lot of people around here have been telling me I look unhealthy as far as being thin is concerned. I mean, yeah, the weight loss shows, and it's always good to be a healthy weight. But now I've broken the 190 mark. I'm down to 188 because of stress. Yep. That's another topic for another day. But for a lot of you, I get it. Believe me, I really do. What it means just to get away. There are people that collect stamps. They collect bottle caps. They collect old glass bottles. They collect soup cans. Steve MRE here on YouTube, you know, he hunts down old field rations and MREs and stuff. All that kind of thing. Everybody collects things for a reason. Some people do it for history. Oh, they appreciate history. Some people just do it for an escape. Some people do it because they don't want to deal with reality or their reality, the things they're going through, depression, anxiety, suicidal thoughts, a death in a family, heartbreak, like what happened with me being cheated on. And every other woman I've had to deal with prior to this, being cheated on, being lied to, being stabbed in my back. People that would call me brother to my face, people I would feed and give beer to and food and have here in my home or be outside on my patio, being taken for granted, being used, being stepped on. I get it. I really should wrap this up, folks. Wow, I've been on here 2.5 hours almost. But these two cards recently have taught me a valuable lesson about how far the hobby or how low the hobby has sunk. This hobby has sunk to a new low. And with Teapot exposing the grading companies for what they are, it's all very revealing. It's all very revealing. I get it, folks. I get it more than you know. Not trying to be a leader, not looking for awards or rewards or pageantry or any of that kind of stuff. I'm just like the rest of you, man. I wake up in the morning and sometimes I miss the brim of the bowl when I'm taking a leak. I burp, I fart, I cough, I sneeze, I get crust at the core. I'm not a fucking superhuman. A lot of people create these larger than life personas here on YouTube. I'm none of those things. I'm just like the rest of you folks. You cut me open, red stuff comes out from underneath my skin. If my stomach goes, it's time to eat, or maybe my stomach is sour because it doesn't like something. Just like the rest of you folks. I'm going to end it right here. I fought off this headache this whole time. If you notice, I've kind of like slowed down here a little bit. My head is pounding, and I definitely want to get some aspirin in me. And my head is killing me. Thank you, everybody, for your time, your patience, your support. Again, you know, to how much is 99? I really appreciate those comments. That means a lot to me, and I take it to heart. You know, I try my best as best I can. And, you know, I hope most of you can relate to me, and I definitely relate to you. And I see comments like what I saw here today, with the exception of your typical trolls that come. It's the internet. It's going to happen. But, you know, I get it. I get it. So thank you. God bless. Stay safe. Take care. Be careful out there, folks. Just be careful. That's all I have to say. Thank you, everybody. God bless you all. I love you all. See you very soon.